Hey everyone, in this video we're going to learn how to play Turing Machine. Okay, let's learn how to play Turing Machine. This tutorial exists thanks to Robejection. A punch card computer has thought of a code with three numbers, each one being between 1 and 5. It provides clues that can help you work out what the code is, as long as you understand what the machine is saying. Can you crack the code faster than your opponents, or faster than the machine if you're playing a solo game like this one? Soft lock warning. If you click on the top portions of any of these cards when you haven't been asked to, the tutorial will get stuck and you will have to restart. You can click anywhere else on the point without soft locking the tutorial, but not here. Okay. So how do we get clues from the machine? And how do we interpret what it's saying? Each round consists of a three-step process that all players do simultaneously. Compose a proposal, come up with the test code, question the machine, check the test code against the three verifiers, and deduce. Note the results when you can conclude from them. Compose a proposal. To generate a test code, we have to select a number from each column in the test to code box. Select a number, okay. The columns, and by extension the number positions in the code, are referred to via colored shapes in this game. So left first, blue triangle, middle second, yellow square, and right last, purple circle. Okay. As we enter our first code, it will appear in these spaces on your notepad. When we start getting clues, they will automatically be noted down in these spaces, so we know which code gave us those clues. Our codes and clues for future rounds will go into the next row down each time. The main area of your notepad is where you can note which numbers you have ruled out and which ones you're certain about. Unlike the other areas, this isn't filled in automatically, but we'll see how it works later on. But what about these cards? The machine has four verifiers labeled A, B, C, and D. The card under each one tells you what the particular verifier is potentially checking for. It is these cards that will provide us with clues. But to see how we get clues from them, we first need to decide on our test code. Let's try 3, 4, 5 for our first test code. First, click here to assign the number 3 to the triangle position. Next, click on number 4, and then choose 5. Now that we have a test code, click on this button to submit it. Then we'll see how to get clues that will help us find the correct code. If you're not happy with the code you picked out, you can always change it by selecting different numbers. You don't have to pick the numbers in order. You could pick the middle number first and go back to the first number later. Okay, so choose this code. Now that we've finished composing our proposal, we have three punch cards overlapping each other to represent our test code. You can see a bunch of holes in the top card that are blocked by the other two cards, but there is one little hole in the middle that lines up with all three punch cards. Okay, the hole will be our window into the machine's logic. So how does a verifier work anyway? It checks our test code against one of the conditions along the bottom, but which one? We'll have to figure that out. The code we're trying to find is the one that meets every verifier's chosen condition. For example, if you look at the card verifier for A, you'll see that it has three conditions on it. Square is less than 4, okay? Square is equal to 4, or square is greater than 4. In our test code for this round, the square is equal to 4. If we consult verifier A and its chosen condition for this game is square is equal to 4, the verifier will give us a tick. If it has chosen a different condition, it will give us a cross. Will this correct code have a 4 in the square position? Let's find out, shall we? Click on the upper portion of the card under verifier A. Click on the upper portion of the card. Upper portion? under verifier A. Okay, let's try that. Click on upper portion. This part? Okay, there. Across. Computer says no. Okay, verifier A's chosen condition must be something else. So the square in the correct code can't be 4. The machine is only saying that the square is not a 4. There could still be a 4 elsewhere in the code. If you want, there are 3 ways to record what you know now, what you now know, and what you have worked out. The first is to click on one of the conditions in the lower portion of the criteria card. Doing so puts a big red X on that condition. Clicking on one when it already has a big red X, it will remove the X. So try now. Click on here to cross out 4 square equals 4 condition. Okay. The second way involves the area of the notepad I mentioned before. Clicking on a number here in cycles, clicking on a number in here cycles it between 3 states: crossed out, circled, and clear. Click on the 4 underneath to cross it out. So it's not 4. The third thing you can do is write stuff in the text box below each verifier. You're free to write whatever you want in these whenever you want. This tutorial will not make you write anything or stop you from writing anything, although you might get a lot of prompts to press the continue button. Click continue when you're happy to proceed. When you question the machine in each round, you may consult up to 3 verifiers. We just did verifier A, so we have 2 questions remaining this round. Let's try verifier C this time. All 3 of its conditions say that a particular number in the code is the largest. In our test code, the circle is the largest number because it's a 5. So we're going to find out if verifier C's chosen condition, the circle, is the largest number. Click on the card below verifier C. Make sure you don't accidentally cross out any of its conditions. So which color's number is larger than the other? So let's try that. Okay, another cross. Let's see. Verifier C, I don't see the cross. Okay. Verifier C's chosen condition must be one of the other 2 then. Okay. As I mentioned, the correct code will meet every verifier's chosen condition. Any code with multiple numbers tied for largest won't meet any conditions on verifier C, so the correct code can't have a tie for the largest number. There still could be a tie for the smallest number, though. Okay. I won't make you take notes again. You can do it throughout the tutorial if you want, but you don't have to. For now, we'll use our final question to check our test code against verifier C. Our code has exactly 1 even number, the square, or the 4. So we will find out if verifier D's chosen condition is there is exactly 1 even number. So click on the card. Let's see, we got a tick this time. Now we know, oh, right here, a tick right here, my arrow right here. Now we know that the correct code does in fact have exactly 1 even number in it somewhere, no more, no less. Our code's only even number may be the square, but the correct code's only even number could be the triangle or the circle. Now that we have used up all 3 questions for this round, the game is asking if we figured out the code. Have you? I doubt it. There are still way too many codes that could work, so our answer is a resounding no. Accept the no buttons broken this tutorial, so just click continue. In theory, it's possible. They're very difficult to crack the code with few or no questions by understanding certain rules that the machine itself follows. Maxims of the machine, if you will. We'll see one later. Okay. In a multiplayer game, our opponents would have taken the same steps as us at the same time as us, choosing their own test codes, consulting up to 3 verifiers, including some of the ones we did, making their own notes. Everyone will know who chose which verifiers, but all other information, test codes, results from verifiers, and notes is private. In a multiplayer game, if anyone declares that they know what the code is, they must give their answer. We'll see how to do that later. Then, if anyone gets it right, whoever did so with the fewest clues wins. But if everyone gets it wrong, then all players who took a stab at it are out. Then, if only one player is not eliminated, they win by default. Otherwise, next round. Anyway, let's go back to our solo game and do one more round. To speed things along a bit, I'll submit our next test code, 453. 4, 5, and 3. Now let's consult verifier A to find out if its chosen condition is square is greater than 4, because that's a condition our code meets. Square, yeah, it is. Okay, click on the card. Across again, okay? That can mean that verifier A's chosen condition is square is less than 4. Okay. Now let's check our test code against verifier C. If we get a tick, that means the verifier's chosen condition is square is the largest number. Let me see what that says. Number is larger than the others. Okay. If we get a tick, then it means that the verifier's chosen condition is square is the largest number because it is in our test code. Square. Okay, yes, it is. If we get a cross, then the triangle has to be the largest. Click on the card to continue. Check. A tick. So verifier A says the square is less than 4. The square is less than 4. But verifier C says that the largest number in the code, verifier C says it's the largest number of the code. So 5 is the largest number, or the square is the largest number of the code. So that narrows down a lot. In fact, there are only 3 codes with exactly one even number, verifier D's condition, and with the square being the largest number despite being less than 4. So 121, 132, 231, okay? At this point, we've gotten all the information we can out of the verifiers A, C, and D. The last piece of information we need to crack the code will have to come from verifier B. Click on the card to, wait, no, scratch that. I've got a better idea. Let's see what that is. If triangle is even or odd, okay? Remember when I mentioned that the machine has certain rules it has to follow? Well, here's one of them. There's only one correct code that will get ticks from all of the verifiers. How does that help us? Well, remember, those 3 possible codes we narrowed it down to, 121, 132, and 231. Suppose verifier B told us the triangle is odd. Then both 121 and 132 will get ticks from all the verifiers. After all, both codes have a number less than 4 for the square, so A, an odd number for the triangle, B, the square as the largest number, C, exactly one even number, D. By the rule I mentioned that says there can only be one code that gets ticks from all the verifiers. Therefore, the triangle must be even. We used the maximum of the machine to figure out without having to consult verifier B. In a multiplayer game, if another player figured out the correct code this round, not consulting verifier B here could make the difference between victory and defeat. Okay. Now what's happening? Okay. So if the triangle must be even, that leaves only one possible code. 2, 3, 1. Each round you consult up to 3 verifiers. You can choose to consult fewer than 3 by passing. Maybe because you want to try a different test code. But in this case, it's because we figured out what the correct code is. Sadly, the pass button is broken in this tutorial, so click continue. When you pass, the game asks if you found the solution, just like it does after checking a test code against 3 verifiers. Click yes to tell the game that we've indeed found the solution. Oh, just click on it. The box where we enter a code is back now, but although it may look mostly the same as always, the button at the bottom has now changed to verify. We're no longer coming up with new codes to test against our verifiers. We're giving the machine our final answer. So go ahead and click enter the code starting with 2 for the triangle, 3 for the square, and 1 for the circle. Then verify. We did it! We cracked the code, and now you know how to play Turing Machine. This game was played on classic mode and easy with difficulty with 4 verifiers, but all of these settings can be changed in the lobby. The number of verifiers can be set to 4, 5, or 6. The more there are, the more information you need to figure out what the code is. Changing the difficulty to standard or hard will introduce verifiers with more complex criteria, such as, do the triangle and square add up to more than, less than, or exactly 6? How many identical numbers are in the code? Which number is the largest, but this time there can be a tie? How many ones or threes are in the code? The verifier's chosen condition is only about one of those. Extreme mode means each verifier gets 2 cards, but still has only one chosen condition. That means one card on each verifier is a red herring. For example, if this were an extreme mode game, verifier's A's card may be about how many ones are in the code, but its chosen condition would still be squares less than 4. Okay, you still can't consult the game verifier twice in one round, even though it now has 2 cards. In nightmare mode, the answers the cards give have mixed up with each other. You have to work out what each verifier is really talking about. If this was nightmare mode game, verifier C's card may say it's about which number is the largest, but clicking it might tell us about how many even numbers there are, or if triangle is odd or even. There are little millions of ways Turing Machine can be set up. Setting the mode to Daily Challenge lets you play the specific setup of the Daily Challenge on Turing Machine's own website, turingmachine.info. In this case, the game will follow classic mode rules. And this is where the tutorial ends. I hope you found it fun and helpful. A big thank you goes out to Johan Levitt and Fabian Griedel for designing Turing Machine, to Scorpion Mask for publishing it, and to Adrian L838 for making it playable on this website. If you have any comments or feedback about this tutorial, send them over to Robejection. Happy code cracking! All right, thanks for watching.